Relax je, simple je, macam sembang je.
Rolling.
Okay, Sumitha, we are here to ask you a little bit about the Rukun Negara because the Rukun Negara is celebrating its 50th year anniversary this year.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just want to find out what do you think about the Rukun Negara as the key to unity in Malaysia, bearing the fact that Malaysia has so many different ethnics, race, people with beliefs, languages, as well as cultures which are so different, kan? Can
Yeah,
you share
right.
with us a little bit on that?
Yeah, sure. All of us have been introduced to Rukun Negara as early as 7, or some of us even as early as 5 or 6. And we were taught how to read and recite Rukun Negara since we were a child. And at least until we complete our school, we have been trained to recite Rukun Negara almost every week during the school assembly. So I believe most Malaysian citizens are well aware of Rukun Negara. And of course, the content of Rukun Negara itself clearly depict that it actually would like to bring together the entire citizens of Malaysia, since we are very according to race, religion, and so on. But in my opinion, the thing is that we have been taught how to read Rukun Negara, recite Rukun Negara, but we were not trained to appreciate Rukun Negara. So that is one part which I would say plays a very much important role. Why in not all situations Rukun Negara can be used to unite the entire citizens.
Right. So, what do you think should be the next step to help them understand? Since you said we can recite, but we don't actually understand, isn't it? So, what can be done, to help everybody understand it further?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Can I start?
Sure. Go ahead. Just continue.
Okay. The thing is that Rukun Negara should not only be recited by students at school. We should take further actions, right? Like having programs on social media or TV channels or radio channels, talking about Rukun Negara, creating jingles about Rukun Negara, creating short video clips so that people can remember and appreciate what Rukun Negara is. And we should also be taught about the philosophy behind Rukun Negara. If we ask children, especially those in primary school, I don't think so they really know what is the philosophy of Rukun Negara, In fact, for those who are adult, after leaving their school, we hardly recite Rukun Negara anymore unless we attend formal functions, right? So I'm not surprised if many of Malaysians, in fact, forget some of the phrases of Rukun Negara itself. So we have to have a kind of, more frequently add the Rukun Negara on social media, TV or radio, so that we know the existence of Rukun Negara.
Right. Okay. So which means there is more to be done than what has been done currently.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think that it is important for the Rukun Negara to be held close to the hearts of Malaysians? Why should it? Or why can it help them become better?
Yeah, one of the reason is if we see, if we look at the phrases in Rukun Negara itself, it clearly spells out how we should have trust in God, and it really talks about simple things that we should practice to bring the nation together. For example, kedaulatan undang-undang, keluhuran perlembagaan, kesopanan dan kesusilaan. These are the basic values that we should have as human, as mankind, and as well as citizens with various culture, various religion, various ethnic, various language, to realize that these principles are the basic values that we should have in ourselves, so that we can bring ourselves together as one nation.
Right. Okay. Lastly, would you be able to add something, your hopes and expectations for the Rukun Negara to stay on and flourish, as well as being followed and understood by people young and old, so that Malaysia will continue to be very harmonious and the people united?
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, just a minute. Hang on.
Untuk direlatekan sebab kesopanan dan kesusilaan tu nampak ramai orang kat Malaysia ni tolong je disability lain kan, so diorang ada kesusilaan kat situ. Dan macam mana dia datang kepada orang lain tolong dia sebab tak direlatekan dengan.
Okay, alright. Can you also, in this particular answer of yours, relate to the bit where kesopanan and kesusilaan, ataupun we will say good behaviour and morality, has actually helped you in many ways if people all realise about the importance of that fifth principle, right? Especially for people who will need assistance on the streets, how they actually hope that Malaysians will be courteous, with good morality to help, and not just look and expect things to happen with other people helping them instead.
Yeah,
Boleh?
sure,
So
right.
that last hope and expectation, plus that the importance of those basic needs you said just now, to make us better, to help one another more.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sumitha.
Okay, one of the beauty of the Rukun Negara is the last phrase, which says that kesopanan dan kesusilaan, which clearly spells out how we as Malaysians should carry ourselves. So basically, I would say that Malaysians has got those values in them. Generally, Malaysians are very helpful nations. I have traveled to many countries and I've seen and I could clearly compare the people of Malaysia and people of other countries, whereby I would say that people from Malaysia are more helpful, and especially when they see senior citizens or disabled people walking down the street, they are always there to help out if we need any assistance. So to an extent, I would say that has been part of the value that they have grasped from the principles that described in Rukun Negara.
Right. So what about here in MAB? Do you think that the Rukun Negara can also help your own community here by helping each other and making Malaysia better?
Here in MAB.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or other associations helping the needy, how can they also contribute to making this Rukun Negara sustainable in many ways?
Okay, MAB being a non-governmental organization, of course depends a lot of support from the public and as well as the corporate companies. So we know that Malaysians are very supportive. A lot of Samaritans in Malaysia who always come forward to support organizations like MAB. So we would like this culture to continue, so that associations like MAB could continuously contribute and serve the community according to their purpose.
Right. So far, Sumitha, I know I said last question, but I'm still asking you. So far, as a Malaysian, yeah, and also someone who is part of the community. How do you find other Malaysians the younger generation today are so dependent on gadgets, right? So dependent on other things, technology. How do you find Malaysians around you to still have those values as depicted by the Rukun Negara to enable all of us to live harmoniously? The younger generation. Any comments about that?
Okay. Yeah, about the younger generation, I would say that since they are so much exposed to a lot of information, so they do know what's going on. They do know what exactly to do, but since they are very much attached with the gadgets, but they hardly mix around with people. So there is a little bit of lacking in communication and in socializing compared to the older generations. So that is one part that we need to improve, but I would say that that won't be an obstacle to create a harmonious society, because it is just a matter of training the younger generation to become a more caring society.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so that caring society is very important, yeah? Alright. Cut. Thank you. Thank you very much, Sumitha. Was that okay?
You okay?